Jake Paul wasn't Jake Paul if he wasn't this YouTube guy. He was just a boxer. And you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever. It's quite as much with those bigger guys. It's a little bit of a step. It's a step up, you know, like that. There's very few guys that keep that power as they keep going up and up and up in weight.
People think it's funny, like, oh, you're gonna fight Canelo, like you're saying you're gonna beat Canelo, like you're out of your mind, you lost to Tommy Fury in a split decision, how are you gonna beat Canelo?
Jake Paul is scheduled to face Canelo Alvarez. However, Joe Rogan is skeptical of this matchup, claiming that Canelo has a lot of he adds that everyone knows Canelo is a huge money fight, which is why everyone wants to fight him, and that he doesn't have time to wait around for Jake Paul. Canelo offers a large salary. Given Canelo's hectic schedule, Rogan is still doubtful that the fight will ever take place. It's extremely risky, and there's always someone behind you, and these men who've been at the top for
fucking dangerous. Very dangerous.
And there's always somebody coming right behind you. And these guys who've been at the top so long, you're like, all right, let me get somebody that's on my level. Canelo, he's been in the game just as long as me, and all right, let's just do this for his paycheck and then move on.
I think when they get to a certain level and they realize they only have a few fights left, they want the big money fights. And Canelo is obviously the biggest money fight. Even though Boots Ennis is a great fighter, most people don't know who he is yet.
Yeah.
And with Canelo, everybody knows who Canelo is. If you get the Canelo fight, that's red panties night.
Is a real boxer, but he says that Paul has already proven himself by defeating several UFC champions. If Jake Paul wasn't this YouTuber, he was just a boxer, and you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever, with a single blow like that.
Paul wasn't Jake Paul if he wasn't this YouTube guy. He was just a boxer. And you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever. Knock him out with one punch like that. Like, oh man, have you seen this Jake Paul dude coming up? He's fucking for real. Because nothing about watching him fight, to me, screams like he's in over his head. Nothing. He looks like a real boxer.
Kickboxing. I could kickbox people if I were a younger man with healthy knees.
Still throw down. Like if it had to happen. Like if Jake Paul called you out.
Well, he'd probably fuck me up.
Really?
He's a really good boxer. He's a good boxer.
What if it was kickboxing? He doesn't really know how to kickbox. When I was a younger man and I had good knees, I could be kickboxing people, but I could barely get through a workout without being in pain now. There's a reality of knees and backs.
He's beast. He's a beast. He's a beast. Like I'm talking more about Jake, and I want to see a UFC fight. If you want to see Jake fight for the UFC, he won't be fighting for the UFC FMMAF, but he does MMA, and he has a contract with the PFL, another organization that is throwing a lot of money around.
He's a beast.
He's a beast.
Like I'm talking more about Jake. I want to see a UFC fight.
You want to see a UFC fight with Jake?
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to fight for the UFC.
Well, no,
he's
or
got a
MMA fight. MMA fight.
I'm so sorry. MMA. He's got a contract with the PFL, which is another organization. They're throwing a lot of money around. They just signed Francis Ngannou, and Jake has a contract with them. So if he has an MMA fight, I think it has to be over there.
I have one of the best self-belief systems in the world, and I know what I can do. With this new team, I can give Canelo a serious run for his money. Would you ever do exhibitions like that, or have people like Jake Paul call you out, or these other big stars like that?
To go up against Canelo Alvarez, what gives you the right to call out a 59-2 boxer, one of the greatest of all time, when you've not yet proven yourself?
I'm predicting what's going to happen 3 more years from now.
So I'm
going to get to his skill level and beat him. I have one of the greatest self-belief systems in the world, and I know what I'm capable of, and with this new team, I can give Canelo a serious for his money.
Would you ever do like exhibitions like that, or like people like Jake Paul call you out, or these like other big stars? Like, is that business wise like even worth it?
When I'm done with boxing, why not? Maybe I do it. I think it's
like when you're done like competing at the highest level, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's good because what happened there is other people who never watch boxing, or they don't know anything about boxing, they want to watch Jake Paul because he's coming from he bring fans from other world, right? Yeah. That's good because everybody enjoy it.
Would you ever entertain that idea when you're done?
Maybe.
There is defeated light heavyweights and is a natural counterpuncher. If you come to him, he just beats the hell out of you. There is no way in any universe that Paul could ever defeat Canelo Alvarez, but I love that he is the worst person he could fight. I adore that about both Paul brothers, and he believes he can.
Yeah.
Will we actually see this fight?
It's not impossible. He has 0% chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. This is the worst guy he could fight is Canelo Alvarez. The worst thing he could do.
No. Tell us why.
Because Canelo Alvarez is not playing games.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. Everything is muscle memory since he was a kid. He was a natural. He's fought every fighter there is. He's beaten light heavyweights, and he's a natural counterpuncher. You come to him, he just beats the hell out of you. There's no way in any universe Jake Paul could ever beat Canelo Alvarez. But I love the fact that he thinks he can. I love that about both Paul brothers. This is how it could happen, okay? How a fight could happen. He has to beat Tyron Woodley. That's not easy. Then he has to beat a striker in their prime, because Woodley's not in his prime anymore, right? Still an MMA guy, not a full-time boxer in his prime. Then he'd be 5-0. Then he needs to beat a striker who's his size and in his prime, but from MMA, so he still hasn't fought a boxer. He's 6-0. Then he needs to fight a pro boxer. Could be an inexperienced guy, but he's got to fight him. That's 7-0. Beat a more experienced pro boxer, 8-0. Beat a pro boxer his own size, 9-0. Beat a more experienced pro boxer his own size. He'd be 10-0, and now he's ready for an 8-round fight against a real fighter, right? Then you got to beat that guy. It takes a while to build up a world-class 10-round fighter, and he'll always be at a disadvantage against guys with amateur backgrounds because they have muscle memory. We saw it in UFC 264. Stephen A., remember the Hardy fight? Mm-hmm. So he's fighting a guy with muscle memory. Hardy's an athlete.
Should just retire after that. So, look, are you happy with how you performed in the fight? Are you happy with how the evening unfolded? And I wish he would have its tired. But I believe that everyone only wants him to win. You know, they wanted Mike to win. But that's as much certainty as you need for the Ring magazine to even publish that report. The biggest fight of 2025, hands down, as I mentioned a few days ago, Ben Aid's Morale was my favorite battle of 2025. Obviously, that fight has now been relegated to second place because nothing can be proclaimed to the top. One of the most heated debates about this possible altercation is its platform for broadcasting, given Netflix's enormous global reach, and the excitement around a Jake Paul versus Canelo matchup would probably blow the internet up. It might set streaming records and bring boxing to a whole new audience. According to ESPN, Canelo Alvarez will face Jake Paul in May.